Welcome back to Let's Fix Things, ladies and guys. All right, well, this video is going to be my third dump trailer of firewood. We're trying to fill up that firewood shed. It's 12 by 24. I already picked up the area, repositioned everything. I'll show you the positioning of the conveyor and a log splitter, and obviously the JCB. And then we're gonna start cutting up some rounds with the Stihl 041 chainsaw and the Cat 302.5. We're gonna load them into my, I think it's a 7 by 12 dump trailer. We're gonna stack that thing roof high again. When I say roof, I mean gutter high on the 3-car garage here. And then we'll back it over and we'll crank that through. And that should pretty much fill up the rest of the firewood shed. I have a feeling it's gonna take another half trailer. But at least I'll know I have enough for one whole season once I get this portion done, because I go through 4 full rows a season to heat the house. And plus I like fire. I throw, bonfires outside too, campfires. So I go through 4 full rows of 24 foot long, but I'm doing a 5th row also that's sitting, you guys see I started it right there. It's just sitting on the edge. So I have a feeling it's gonna take 1.5 more trailers. And then once I'm all done with the firewood shed, then I'm going to pick up some IBC totes and I'm just going to start dropping them right off the conveyor into IBC totes and try to crank out as much firewood as I can this season. I want my parking spots back, plus I got a lot more trees I got to come down, so I need the space for the wood for the new trees. So all right, well, here we go. Let me show you my setup again and we will go from there. Previously on the last splitting videos, I had this conveyor dropping off right inside the firewood shed, but now the pile gets in a way where I can't stack it. So what I did was, you can see I backed the firewood conveyor up about 5 feet and I put plywood down here to absorb the impact so I don't break these concrete tiles here. So now, and I cranked it up, it can even go up a little bit higher. It can go to those legs are almost vertical. So I can make a huge pile here without having to stop to stack it, because it's, because I'm out of space. So, because a firewood pile will start hitting the conveyor like in the other videos, or it'll be in the way of stacking. So now I will literally be able to split until I can't split anymore, take a break, stack everything, and go from there. So we'll see how many times I have to stack the wood, or how many times I actually have to stop. But I think I'm just going to basically stop when I'm sore. And then I moved my bins over there. Those are for the unstackable pieces of wood. The rounds, not the rounds, but the chunks, the square pieces, those are not staying there. I just wanted them out of the way. I moved the JCB over there to get it out of the way. The JCB bucket is for all the debris, like this kind of stuff. And I have my snow shovel there, so I could just chuck it over there into it if it starts getting where I'm tripping. Most of the time it's going to be underneath the splitter there, so I can drag it that way and shovel it in, or it's going to be in the dump trailer. So that should stay there. That's the setup for now, and that should be the setup for the rest of the firewood shed. And I'm not going to do the IBC totes over here when and if I do IBC totes. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the IBC totes over here. So I'll move that whole system over in this direction once all this firewood is gone, or obviously once I start working on this. So today I'm gonna crawl back in here and I'm gonna start pulling out some of those. They're like 10 foot, 12 foot. Some of them are like 7 foot long. And then obviously you can see how high that is. Look at the size of that. That's about 3 feet. That's at least 3 feet in diameter right there. Those are from my neighbors. I do not want to split those. But anyways, this is what I'm after today. I want to get all of this out of here so this whole area is open. And we're using the Cat 302.5 mini excavator with the frost pick to pull them out. And then the dump trailer is downhill. Hopefully we don't lose any logs going down. That's one piece I got to cut from the last load. It was about 3 feet. I don't know how it made its way in there. But anyways, and I don't have an 041 still. I have an MS 441C is what I'm using. And it's a 25-inch bar. I picked up 3 new chains off eBay. These are the chains I'm using. Right there, there's the part number. It was a 3-pack deal. I'll hopefully be using my BR 800 backpack blower because I haven't been able to get it started recently. But I'm hoping to be able to get it started when I'm all done today. Otherwise, I'll just use something else. I got my, on a side note, I got my RG1625 Rayco stump grinder ready to go. I got a stump grinding job I got to do with the green teeth on it. And then my John Deere 790 over there, ready to go if I need it with the fork attachments or the trailer. The trailer hitch is on it right now. I put the forks on the front there. All right, well, let's see what we can get done today. I gotta change the blade, the chain on the chainsaw first, and then we'll crawl in there and start pulling some out. Let's get this chainsaw fueled up, oiled up, and put a new chain on there. Last time I hit this asphalt. That's one bad part about doing this. But I hit the asphalt, and as soon as you hit it, it was wasted. But it made it through 2 full trailers. So we'll try to do 1 more chain. I don't want to have to go through all 3 of them. And just to clarify, I am already soaked. I've already soaked through another shirt, and my shorts are actually soaked just from dripping sweat. So I got a nice dry shirt on, but my shorts are soaked from sweat. All right, let's get it done.
All right, guys, I'm done for today. I got about 3/4 full. I'd like to get more on there before I start splitting. This is a lot smaller stuff, so it's going to be a lot more back and forth trips to the splitter and to the trailer to get. But I made a good dent in it. Let's see if I can sneak over here without falling on my face. Let's see. Hey, let's fix things. All right, so I opened that section up. I got it all the way back, and then I just put some of the real big rounds back there. And I'm gonna just dig through here and get this smaller stuff. Anything like 12 inches or under, or even 16 inches or under in diameter. And that should be most of this pile, actually. So, and then I'll save those big ones for last. But some of those things are monsters. Look at that. All right. That's it for today. All right, guys, I tried getting my backpack blower to work, but it wouldn't fire up, so my driveway's gonna stay dirty today, which I hate doing, but actually, I think I have a little small leaf blower. It's not gonna blow all that though, but yeah, let me see if I can pick up the driveway a little bit, but I'm done for the day, guys. I will be back and we'll finish loading that trailer. Thanks for watching so far. And I still gotta swim. I've been swimming a half mile a day for a while, for a couple weeks now. Pool's nice and clear. Got the vacuum on the bottom there though. So that's where I'm gonna be. I think the water's 82 degrees. So, all right, guys, see you when I get back. All right, guys, it has been at least 2 weeks since I've been able to split any firewood. Got tied up working on the white truck and my kid going to law school and some other things going on. So I am ready to do this trailer, split this trailer up.
as much as I can before the rain starts. It's not connected to a truck, so I got to be careful when I dump it, otherwise the trailer could tip over. I do have the wheels chalked though. Everything is set up. JCB's full of water, which I'll dump that later. And I got my back brace ready to go and my hearing protection. I did not fill up the trailer as high as I wanted to, but if I can crank most of that out today. I got another bucket. These are all just going to be temporarily staying here until I am done splitting firewood. And I moved the conveyor back and I covered a fall zone with plywood to hopefully not crack any of these old antique stepping stones. And my goal is just to make a pile. I don't even care about stacking it today. I just want to get as much split in a pile as I can before I run out of energy or the rain comes. So let's see what we can do. Oh, and I only have like 2 gallons of gas left in the gas can. So once the splitter's out of gas or the conveyor's out of gas, that's all I'm gonna have left for today. But I should not run out of gas today. All right, I'm just gonna put you guys on time lapse. So I'm just gonna throw you guys on time lapse because it'll use less battery, and I am just gonna crank through this, and you guys watch the pile, watch that pile go down, I hope, and watch this pile grow. And I'll throw on some music to this one. Well, I knew it wasn't gonna be that easy, guys. The conveyor started right up. And let me show you what's going on with the engine now. I did not attempt to fix it yet. I'm gonna show you. So I put electric start on it, right? Now watch. It's locked up on me. So more than likely, the cylinder's full of fuel or water. And I intentionally shut that fuel off and try to run the engine dry. But I have a feeling that valve's not working. So let me take the spark plug out and see what happens. This happened last year too. Did I get the wrong size spark plug? Yeah, let me go get the right size. Absolutely soaked with gas. All right, so I'm gonna turn the engine over and watch how much fuel comes flying out of that spark plug. Hopefully I don't get gas on my camera. Here we go. Oh, got gas on the camera. Oh, got gas on the camera. That was a lot. Let's make sure it didn't leak into the oil. Yeah, it did. I gotta change the oil. Not what I want to do right now. See, it's never that simple. All right, well, last year I had the same problem with that fuel shutoff valve. It wasn't working. And so now the fuel filled up the cylinder since it sat for 2 weeks. It filled up the cylinder, so the spark plug obviously wouldn't, and there was so much fuel that the compression wouldn't blow it out because it's vapor or liquid locked, hydro locked, I think it's called. In this case, gas locked. And over time, it drained into the oil. The way I tested that was I took the oil plug out, the dipstick, and it just started pouring out, and it was really liquidy. So now what I have to do is I have to do a quick oil change on this thing. Luckily, it should be pretty easy. Let me get everything ready and then we'll do that. So one way I know there's gas in the oil, like I said, if you take the dipstick out, you have very liquidy oil coming out. Luckily, when I put this engine on, I mounted it right to the side. There's a drain plug. And it takes 1.16 quarts, 1.2 quarts of 1030 oil. Obviously I got to turn that wire because otherwise the oil runs down the wire, so I got to have it up like that. All right, now let that drain very well. Get it all out. All right, put this on the list of things to do. We got to move this ground wire. Looks like that's a 7/16 for a 12 millimeter maybe? I don't know. All right, let's fill it up. And basically when you fill it up to the oil just starts pouring out. So straight back 1.2 quarts of 1030, clean funnel. And you can see the oil is right there. All right, let's get a spark plug in this thing. Oh. this thing fired up. All right, let's see if that works. All right, guys, that's one thing you gotta check for. Obviously, I'm gonna have to fix that, but not today. I'll just make sure when I'm done or before I start it again that it's not all banged up like that again. But for right now, let's get some firewood going. Let's start this thing up. This has got to be the most reliable Honda engine. I haven't done anything to this since I bought this. It just fires right up every time. Every time. All right, let's make some firewood. All right, guys, I'm done for today. I got a pretty decent pile there. I got 2/3 of the trailer done, I would say. Yeah, I'd say 2/3 right there. It's all pretty much only one layer deep right now. So I'll be able to finish that up tomorrow, hopefully, or the day after if I get time. And then whenever I get time, I'll stack it. I'm gonna continue splitting until it's all split, and then I'm gonna stack all at once. and I ran that out of fuel. I shut the fuel off, made sure it was all the way off, and I just let that thing run until it died. So I'm hoping that that fuel valve holds and we don't have that same problem. Maybe I didn't have the fuel valve shut all the way. The conveyor I've never had a problem with. But yeah, could have been catastrophic, but we got it fixed. Quick oil change, drain the cylinder, tried the spark plug, and it fired right up, and it runs beautiful. No smoke, no nothing. So all right, see you when I get back. Well, Hayden stopped over and he helped me stack some firewood. So that's 3 full dump trailers stacked, split and stacked right there. 7 feet deep, 24 feet long. So it looks like I am definitely doing more. The dump trailer is out, is empty. And obviously I have plenty more over there to do. Splitter worked great. I love this table. Could have used a 4-way wedge on most of those. These were smaller rounds. But yeah, so I'll fill up the trailer again and start splitting more. All right, guys. End of video trailer number 3. That's 3 full dump trailers. Firewood. If I had heaped this one up like I did the first 2 all the way up, I probably would have gotten another half cord. Maybe, yeah, I'd say another half cord. But I'm about a cord low. 1 to 2, I would say a cord and a half low to fill that. So I'm just gonna fill it all up again when I get a chance. I gotta move all that firewood anyways. Actually, the tree company just delivered another load of firewood of oak. Freshly cut stuff to cut down today. So I gotta get more of that seasoned, the older wood cut and split and stacked, so I can
get that green stuff ready to go too, so I can start splitting that eventually. But yeah, so system's working flawlessly, guys. It definitely helped with Hayden, helping me stack the wood. That is the first time so far out of 3 full dump trailers that I had to handle the wood twice. Normally, wherever it fell off the conveyor, I was able to reach it to stack it. But being that the conveyor's out of the shed and it made such a big pile, it fell all the way to the wheels of the conveyor. So I just threw it up there, and then once I got up there, Hayden handed it to me, and I just stacked it farther in there. So it worked that good. So one more go at it, and that will be full, and then I'm just going to start filling IBC totes. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out some of the other videos of any of the equipment that you see. I have videos repairing it, fixing it, using it, building the firewood, switch the firewood table, putting a new engine on the log splitter, getting that JCB running. That was a whole nightmare. I got stump grinding videos. I don't know what I have with the dump trailer, but I got the boom lift over there. My son, who actually helped me stack the firewood, actually got stuck all the way up in the boom lift. That's on the video. When I first bought it, that was a marketplace find. A little of everything, guys. Hardscape videos, name it. Household repair videos. Anyways, see you on the next one, guys. I'm gonna get some water and I'm gonna go jump in the pool.